Do you like tea?
Yeah.
Do you want to spill some?
Okay.
Hi, I'm Marie.
Hi, I'm Jay.
And you're watching
Lunch break.
We spilled the tea right here. Look at it. Good.
Anyway, what are we covering today?
What do you think about revenge?
I think it's a dish best served cold.
But what if I told you that we today on a subreddit that calls petty revenge?
I like petty. Let's get into it.
Let's get right into it. Okay, our first story, the 2-day driveway lesson. Okay, here we go. I live in an apartment in Melbourne, and this guy keeps parking in my basement spot. I've told him a few times, and every time he just laughs and says, I'll move it quickly. Yeah, right? Melbourne Cup, long weekend. I pull up and he's parked in my spot. I parked in front of his car, block off. He knocks on my door and says, you need to move your car. I say, look, mate, I'm not able to find my keys on my car. I've been searching everywhere for the past hour. I tried to ring the locksmith and they say it's going to be double the charge, around $500 or something, due to the public holiday. I tell him, look, mate, you got to wait for 2 days. If you are happy to pay, you pay. He says he'll ring the police. I just shrug and tell him, mate, you are stuck in my spot. You can call the police or anyone. I didn't give a shit. 2 days later, I magically find the key. He storms off, pale and furious. He hasn't dared park in my spot since, and I still crack up thinking about how angry he got trapped like that. What do you think about that, mate?
Crikey, he probably should have rode his roo. Yeah, pretty petty. He's pretty lucky the neighbor didn't call his bluff. I think if I was his neighbor, I would still call the cops. I mean, it just depends on the rules and like about the parking spots and stuff. Like, I think they were more likely tow your car than give him some sort of ticket or get rid of his car for being in your spot. According to the story, you won, man. So congrats. What do you think, Marie?
You've been lucky in this situation, honestly.
I think the important takeaway from this story, Marie, is that he got that petty revenge.
Yeah, I think it's worth it. At least you feel good and your spot never taken again.
Word.
Well, we're in a story about blocking something again. Block me from leaving the bus? Here, have some snurk. Once upon a time, I took the bus into downtown Philly. The stop where I wanted to disembark is a place where a lot of people get off the bus. And a lot of other people boarded the bus. So there I was, standing near the exit and waiting for the door to open. However, as soon as bus opened the door, the lots of people who were standing outside all crowded up to the door, effectively blocking everyone from getting off. I stepped off the bus into the throng, excusing myself as I went because there was no way to avoid physical contact with those folks on my way out. Sure enough, I brushed against someone on my left and someone else on my right. The woman on my left ignored me. The one on my right turned and cursed at me. I stopped and turned to her. What do you want me to do? Fly over the crowd? My broom's in the shop. If my broom were working, I wouldn't need to take a bus. Now, the crowd was all laughing, all but Miss Grouchy Face, who glared daggers at me. I just turned and resumed walking. I had places to be. What about your broom? My broom is working. I'm not using a bus.
I don't know if that was petty revenge as much as it's just how people in Philly normally talk to each other.
I think people in Philly talk to each other in a way that family members who hate each other talk. Kind of like, dude, but I hate you. You know what I mean?
Full disclosure, we live in Philly.
Yeah.
We see a lot of this. We've taken the train. We haven't taken the bus yet, but we try to avoid the bus.
After this story?
No, it kind of makes me
I'm
think
kidding.
of that episode of It's Always Sunny when Dee has to take the bus.
I hate the bus.
No, I think you handled that well. Hopefully your broom gets out of the shop soon.
I think it's funny. It's not like offend anyone. I don't think it's petty revenge.
I've definitely heard and seen worse in public transportation. I think you handled that pretty well.
Yeah. Well, if you're using buses and you have something interesting to tell us,
they can leave a comment, right?
Yeah, they can always leave the comment, and if you have any petty revenge, we'll love it. My roommate kept snoring and refuses to address it. So I recorded her and played it whatever she tried to rest.
Kind of sounds mean.
Kind of sounds revengey. I work and live on a cruise ship. Depending on the road, we dock every 2 to 4 days. Have a one roommate and we have bunk beds with me on top. I'm a performer, so we get to pick our roommates. And my roommate never told me that she snored very loudly too. I tried earplugs. Nope. I have big, over-the-ear headphones and was playing music. Still can hear her. I can even hear her over the ship docking, and our room is near the anchor. It's loud. Her snoring is not only loud, it's concerning because she chokes in her sleep too. The first time I heard it, I almost fell out of my bunk to rush down and check on her, thinking she was having some kind of medical emergency. I talked to her to see if we could come up with some solution, and she basically shut me down because she thought since she was sleeping fine, it wasn't a big deal. Also, it's really hard to change roommates unless something major happened, and snoring isn't considered one of those. Despite me voicing my lack of sleep, I did my best to live with it, but I was fed up when I got done with a long work day, got up at 9 a.m. and didn't get officially done with work until 11 p.m. and had to be up at 6 a.m. and the snoring only allowed me 2 hours of sleep. So I decided to record her. The next day, when I was going to the room for a break, she was there and said she was going to take a nap. I was like, okay. And as she lay down, I started playing her snoring. She immediately shut up and looked at me like I was insane. When all I did was stare at her, she asked me to turn it off. I just said, well, this is your snoring and you said it's not a big deal, so why should I? She gets really mad, says a few choice words and leaves the room. For about 3 days, wherever she tried to rest, I played her own snoring back. Finally, I got called in for a meeting with our manager because roommate was mad at me. I explained my side of the story because roommate failed to mention that she refuses to address her snoring and made it seem like I was just playing loud noises for the heck of it. Roommate is angry that manager didn't fully take her side and even told her she was being difficult by not trying to address her snoring and brushing off my need for sleep. We ended up getting moved with new roommates though.
I think it's more than a snoring problem.
What kind
Like she mentioned that like there was some choking in her sleep. I think she might like have like sleep apnea. Like that's pretty serious. Either way, like I agree that it's really annoying and like maybe she should get it addressed. Was recording it taking a step too far? Maybe, but it did kind of help your point and your manager sided with you. It's a shitty situation to find yourself in, like to try to tell someone how to manage and live their life because what they're doing is very disruptive and you have every right to voice your concern. Like something's not right.
And it's sleeping. Like they can take away a food, a water, air, and sleeping. Because if you not sleep, it can ruin your health, your performance. I actually have one situation with the snoring roommate, and I kind of guilty in it. Not because I'm snore. We live in a room, 3 girls in a room, me and 2 roommates, of course, and one of them snoring so loud and sometimes so weird. Like the snores noise itself was sometimes just like adult men yelling. That was kind of uncomfortable to sleep with this kind of environment. So sometimes, because I have a sensitive sleep, I wake up and I'm just call her by her name. And I'm just like, hey, can you roll over? Can you roll over? I can't sleep, you snoring. This girl not reacted. So I start to call her louder. and wake up another roommate, and now she can fall asleep, and she just like, what the fuck are you wake me up? Why you can just go and roll her over? Why you make me to hear
Right.
all of this? And I'm just like, I'm sorry, I just can't sleep. And I was like, no, we both can't sleep. So we both start calling her, and we're just like, hey, you snoring? And she just, one moment, she just like, huh? You snoring? No, I'm not. She's roll over and starts snoring louder, like straight between bed and wall, so it's make acoustic, like really loud. And we both just was so pissed off and both starts laughing so hard, and it was hilarious. But at the same time, I totally understand that situation with someone snore can ruin, like it's neurological, like your system like really unstable if you not sleep enough. And this consistently repeated noise can make you more stressed or anxious, or people experience different types of feeling after not sleeping for a long time, you know? Now when they actually change their roommates, now someone else gonna deal with this snoring motherfucker.
Not their problem anymore.
But there's gonna be another post. I have perfect roommate, and then they just give me this. And now I can sleep.
You know, we had a snoring roommate situation. When we first moved in together,
Yeah.
you thought I was snoring, and it actually ended up being my cat, Weston.
That was funniest story, because I wake you up, the cat, the oldest cat that we have, he likes to sleep on top, like on a head, on a pillow. Couple nights, like I was new, we just start live together, and he just more sleeping on a Jay's head, and then he figured it out that he can do this with me. And one night I wake Jay because Weston snore straight on my ear, and I wake Jay and I'm just like, Jay, you're snoring. You're just like, oh, I'm sorry. Roll over and continue sleeping, and the snores continue. I wake him again, and during we talking and he trying to prove me that he's not snoring, Weston starts snore, and I'm just like, if not you, who's snoring then? The main reason why I don't understand who snore, just because I never had cats who snore. I didn't even know they do snore. Now we have two boys who snore in our bed, Weston, and our dog Garrick. He's not snoring all the time, but sometimes he do.
But it's actually cute if you record them snoring.
So yeah, Jay, that's unfortunately all the stories for today.
Nice. Those are some pretty petty revenges.
Pretty petty.
And if you have your own petty revenge story that you want to share with us, make sure you hit us up on our subreddit r/lunchbreak_GSP. And Marie, how else can they keep in touch with us?
We always welcome if you like, comment, and subscribe on our channel. We're so happy. Every subscriber, you can't imagine how happy we are that you now in our community eating lunch with us.
Cheers. And until the next episode, bye.
Bye.